Hey guys, LevelCap here. Today we're going to be talking about the guns, the gadgets, and the accessories available in the Battlefield Hardline Beta. Now this list of guns and gadgets is subject to change before the final launch of the game, and I expect that many things will change, considering that we're getting our first-hand look at the game and chance to actually play the game about 5 months before the game comes out. This is really great. This shows that EA is sort of turning over a new leaf here, actually letting us play a true beta of the game that can change based on our feedback. Now let's start off by talking about the new gadgets. Each class gets 3 specific gadgets and 4 universal gadgets. The operator's first unique gadget is the first aid pack, and this is pretty much the same as it is in Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4. The big difference being that if you have it equipped, somebody can walk up to you, essentially hit E, and you will drop out some health for them to heal themselves. This completely solves the issue of actually needing to get somebody's attention and let them know that you need to be healed. The next thing down is a revive. This is going to be the same as the defibrillators. The cool thing is that if you play on the Thieves side, you get an adrenaline pen instead of a defibrillator. Mechanically, it's going to function in just the same way as the defibs, so there shouldn't be any balance issues. Now, the next gadget is certainly going to be one of the most controversial ones in beta. It's called Survivalist. Again, it looks like another adrenaline pen, except this time you can use it to self-revive. If you have this equipped and you go down from anything that is not a headshot, fall damage, or explosive damage, you will have the option to self-revive within a certain period of time. This clearly has the potential of being one of the most overpowered gadgets in the game. Hopefully beta will allow us to really test it out and determine whether or not it's going to work. Moving on to the mechanic class, we have the standard RPG. Next up, we have a repair tool. Again, these 2 gadgets function much in the same way they did in previous Battlefield games. The Stinger is also making a return to the game. Sadly, it doesn't look like we're going to be able to get away from lock-on weapons. However, I haven't seen any evidence that there is an anti-aircraft tank, so at least one step in the right direction. Unsurprisingly, the Enforcer class starts off with an ammo box that he can distribute to rearm his teammates, and much like the new medic pack, if somebody goes up to you and hits E, you will automatically drop one for your teammate. So no more chasing the support class around the map trying to get ammo. As long as you can get close enough to interact with them, then you can get them to automatically drop that ammo box. The Ballistic Shield is the next gadget for the Enforcer class, and this is really going to add a lot to the strategic element of moving around with teammates. It also has the potential to block bullets while it is on your back. Next up is the Breaching Charge, aka C4. Can't really have a Battlefield game without this gadget. The last set of unique gadgets belongs to the Specialist. The first thing he gets is the Laser Tripmine, very similar to Claymores from previous Battlefield games, although it appears that you can really stick these on just about any surface. Next, we have a Deployable Camera, and the easiest way to explain how this device works is to think of a tug, something that detects movement when enemies are nearby. Well, this is more like a directional tug, so in a cone in front of the camera, you can detect player movement for up to 50 meters. Then we have the Decoy Gadget, which is going to essentially create a false profile on the radar of an enemy player, and it's also going to create fake weapon firing sounds. So this is going to be a great way to trick players and throw them off your scent. Next, we have 4 universal gadgets that can be used by any class in the game. The first is the Gas Mask. This is essentially going to prevent the player from suffering the effects from gas grenades, which are going to be very prevalent in the new Battlefield Hardline, and it's also going to prevent you suffering from any other gaseous anomalies found in the map. And there are going to be hazardous and danger zones located throughout different maps in this game. We then have the Grappling Hook. Although not new to the world of Battlefield, it certainly is new to the modern Battlefield games, and it'll be very interesting to see how players are able to climb up onto just about any ledge using this tool. Zip lines are going to be launched with a crossbow-like weapon. They can actually kill players if you hit them directly, and more importantly, you can use them to get across from building top to building top. Lastly, we have the Taser Gun. This is going to allow you to perform a non-lethal takedown. Now, why would you want to perform a non-lethal takedown in a Battlefield game? Well, there is a new mechanic in this game called interrogation, which allows you to essentially get information out of somebody who has been taken down, but in a non-lethal manner. Once you get the information out of them, which is about a 5 to 6 second process of interrogation, it'll then show you the locations of his teammates within close proximity. Lastly, we have the grenade options. First is the M67 frag grenade, standard grenade, nothing special about it. Then we have the gas grenade, which creates a somewhat invisible cloud of gas, and it's going to cause your player to start coughing and basically obstruct their aim. So this is actually quite different from a smoke grenade because that doesn't actually affect your aim. This is going to throw your aim off, and so I can't wait to see how this is used tactically. Now, there weren't a lot of guns available in the beta. I'm sure there's going to be plenty more available with full launch, but let's go through them. We got the M16A3 making a valiant return from Battlefield 3. Can't wait to play more with this gun. It's pretty darn good from what I've seen so far. Then we have the AKM, closest thing you're going to get to an AK-47. It does high damage, slower rate of fire, very high recoil, but it is incredibly good. Do not underestimate this weapon. Then we have the G36C, certainly a cool gun, but if they do stick by the 650 round per minute rate of fire, then I have a feeling it's going to be a difficult weapon to use. And I think I forgot to mention, but these are operator specific weapons, at least for the beta. Next up, we have the pistol for the operator. It's the 38 snub, and this is actually a really fun pistol to use. It's a 6-shooter. It does really good damage. I didn't really notice much in the way of trigger delay. I think most people are going to be having a lot of fun with this. Then we have the mechanic exclusive weapon, starting off as the UMP-45, great gun, fun to play with, high damage, slow rate of fire, decent hip fire. Then we have the P90, very hard to make a shooter these days without using this very iconic gun. And lastly, we have the Uzi, something that is very new to the Battlefield series and something that I'm really excited to play around with a lot more. It does have kind of a slower rate of fire, so I'm curious to see how they balance this gun. In this game, we're using the 92FS, which is essentially an M9. I believe the M9 is basically the military version of this pistol, but for the most part they should be the same thing. The Enforcer starts off with the MG36, an 800 round per minute rate of fire and 100 round magazine. What's not to like? Then we get the 870P Marine Magnum. Essentially the 870 is coming back in this game. Can't wait to see the combos using this with a riot shield. And let's throw a sawed-off shotgun in there for good measure. So you can see on that magazine size, 2 rounds, then you gotta reload. Let's see how this works out. For a sidearm, we've got the HK45C, a very solid pistol, looking forward to using it. For the specialist class, we're starting off with the R700 Ltr. This is a tried and true sniper rifle. It's been around forever and I can't wait to use it. Then we have the Sega 308. It comes with a 20 round magazine. Looks like it's going to be a bit of a DMR. Then we have the PTR 91, which actually has a 25 round magazine. It's also a semi-auto, so another DMR type weapon. And if you're going to make a class called the Specialist, why go with a pistol for the sidearm? The Tech 9 is certainly going to dish out a bit more damage in close quarters, and it's going to be a nice balancing factor for somebody who's using bolt-action rifles or DMR rifles. Then we have some different melee weapons. A baseball bat and police baton can be used to bludgeon your enemies to death, break down windows and things like that, whereas a knife can be used to take down your enemies and collect their tags at the same time. Then we have a massive list of weapon attachments, everything from underbarrel attachments to suppressors, heavy barrels, tons of red dot optics, hollow optics, medium range, long range optics. The one thing that is new though is the extended magazine, and this seems to have a place in just about every single weapon's customization. M16A3 can be fitted with an extended mags to go from 30 to 40 round magazines. Think about that for a second. Also, it looks like some of the bolt action sniper rifles might also have an extended magazine option. So that pretty much wraps it up for the guns, gadgets, and accessories available in the Battlefield Hardline Beta. Check it out in game. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have a lot of opportunities to balance and give feedback before the final game is released. As always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. This is LevelCap signing off.